Hey guys, thanks for watching. This video is part of a video series called What the Hell is Going On in Real Estate. This series is based on having the conversations of the things that are taboo, the things that nobody's talking about, and we'll be getting into the down and dirty. And I don't mind getting my hands dirty, and I don't mind getting some lashings for it, essentially, because I just think that we're not having these real conversations and they need to be had. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you can. That helps a ton. And also find us on social medias. My handle is on the screen. And if you guys want to support us even more, I do a live once a week and I put it on my Facebook. And so I'd be more than happy to have you guys on there. We do questions live via text message or even phone calls. If this is something that you're enjoying and this is something that you're getting value from, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Appreciate it.
Major changes coming soon to the real estate market. Realtor commissions, they are likely to drop to a fraction of what they are now.
So mortgage rates rose last week for the first time in 3 weeks, and as a result, demand came down.
The headline here is the National Association of Realtors, which represents 1.5 million real estate agents nationwide.
The National Association of Realtors has now agreed to rewrite a number of the rules that regulate America's housing industry.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching. And in this video, we are going to be discussing real estate investing. And I will tell you right now, we are going to get into a little bit of politics. And when I say a little bit of politics, I mean we're going to get into politics. And I will disclose or provide a disclaimer saying that my opinion is my opinion and you don't have to agree with it. You have to respect it. And I will respect yours because that's how human beings should work. So with that said, I will get into some of my thoughts, but more importantly, it's going to be based off of the data and the facts. And as Ben Shapiro says it, facts don't care about your feelings. So the truth is that facts are facts, and I'm just using that information to provide you guys the data that I am. So with that said, let's get right into it. Should you invest in real estate right now? Well, right now is April of 2024, and I think absolutely hell yes. And here's why. The reason I think you should be getting into investing right now and why it's so crucial right now is because I think that we are in this awkward place where our politics have allowed us as investors to do very well. And here's what I mean by that. Right now, it is very difficult. And this is just the truth. I mean, I know this is going to piss people off. I get it. This will piss a lot of people off. And the truth is, I don't care because you're not pissed at me. You're pissed at the politicians that are putting you in the position that you're in. And so the reality is that position is that you cannot afford to buy a house because it is so freaking expensive to live right now that you cannot afford to buy a house. So now that we got that out of the way, if you're an investor, should you invest right now? Hell freaking yes. Because right now, people cannot afford to buy a house, but they still need a roof over their head. That's just the reality. We may not like it, but it's the truth. Right? You still need to have a roof over your head. But right now, they're saying that 200,000 is the new 100,000. In other words, if you made 100 grand a year pre-COVID, to live that same lifestyle, you need to be making $200,000 a year. That is a fact. So what's happening is that because of where we are politically and with all the with all the inflation and all the prices skyrocketing and everything that's happening, people can't buy houses. So if you're an investor and you're wanting to invest in real estate, it's a perfect time. If you have the means to do it because it is the perfect time to do it. I don't care if the president is Joe Biden or Donald Trump. I can care less. That's not where this information is coming from on the person. It's coming based off of the data. And the data is showing that right now, middle America is being squashed. And so as we look through where we are, if you're looking at investing in real estate, it's the perfect time to do it because, again, rents are spiking because everything else is going up in price. So why the hell not? And the reality is that because all the rent is spiking, it doesn't matter. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but it is the truth. It is the cold, hard truth. If you're a tenant and you're renting a property and your rent has gone up from $1,800 to $2,000 over the last 2 years, well, then guess what? too freaking bad. Let me backtrack here real quick, because the reality is, some people are in some crappy positions and they didn't put themselves there. So I don't think that in some cases it's fair. I really don't think that in some cases it's fair, but I do think that, unfortunately, we live in a time politically where you're stuck. There's really no way out of the rat race in America. I hate that people can't afford to buy a house and have the American dream, but that's just where we are. So there's a couple things that I want to say that is the reason why it's wise to be an investor and why investing right now is an amazing time. One, like I said, people can't afford to buy houses. Fine, we got that out of the way. The second reason is people can't afford to invest in real estate. And what I mean by that is a lot of people cannot afford right now to invest in real estate. Pre-COVID, you can buy a house and then buy another house and then buy another and build up a portfolio. It is so much harder to do that now, between the interest rates being higher and just the prices that are higher for property, things like that. It's a lot harder to attain it. And so your pool of competition as an investor is a lot smaller. So if you're looking to invest in real estate, it's a beautiful time. I was just saying in the live that I did today that the only other time I think it was better to be an investor was 2009. Because that's where we are. Now, let's look at this from a projection standpoint. Real estate value doesn't go down, right? And so if you buy a property and you buy it at, 7% or whatever the case may be, and let's say you buy the house $200,000, okay? It's not going to go down in value, right? It might not go up much, but it's not going to go down in value. Now, let's look at, we're hitting an election year, right? Or we're in an election year, whatever. And, we may have a shift, we may not. I don't know. That's not really what this is about. But let's look at the two perspectives. Let's assume that the Democratic Party stays in office. Well, if the Democratic Party stays in office, then what's going to happen is we're going to have more of the same bull, right? We're just going to continue to have the same crap, right? Define insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So the truth is, nothing's going to change, right? Nothing's going to change in terms of if the Democratic Party stays in office. Because the truth is that their agenda is their agenda, and that's just what it is. So, again, I don't care who you are. That's just a fact, okay? The Democratic Party assumes no wrong in doing anything wrong. If we end up with the Republican Party, they're going to have a lot of things to work on. And I don't know that they're going to be able to repair everything so quickly. And I think that the real estate market, yes, I do think that that's going to change. And I do think that's going to get fixed. And I think it's going to get fixed sooner rather than later. But I definitely think that if we look at it from a general perspective, it's going to take a while for people to get back to being able to buy houses. So many people had to tap into savings and stuff like that, that I think it's creating a lot of, it's just going to take a while. And so I don't think it's wise to wait, because I do think that even though it's going to take a while, I think that we're going to start getting more and more movement in the market, which is going to make it harder to invest. And I definitely think that, again, that's just kind of where I see it. And again, if the Democratic Party stays, I spoke on that. It's just the same thing. So honestly, I think if the Democratic Party stayed, I think it allows for more time to be able to get into the market as an investor. But I think that I think if a Republican Party comes in, I think that window is going to shorten. Again, and this is just solely from an investment standpoint. Now, I will say that I would much rather not own a single investment property, than to have Americans, having to rent and only rent, and I have the monopoly, right? Because what happens is that's what the Democratic Party wants, and that's why it's such a good time to invest. The Democratic Party, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, we want to control, and we want to dictate, and we want to manipulate, and the problem with that is that while that makes, that pretty much defines making the rich richer, right? And so the truth is that it is a great time to invest right now, and I would not wait. But I personally, I would say, I want the American people to buy properties. I wish it was more of a flippers market than a rental market, but I think we're in a rental market. I think that as an investor, it is better to rent right now. It's buy and hold is where it's at right now. I think buy and sell is a thing that can start happening if we do have a shift with the Republican Party. But I think that right now is a great time to invest in. And I guess that takes me back to the main point. It is never a bad time to invest in real estate if you have the means. It's just a matter of how you invest, right? So we had the short-term rental craze, and now everybody's selling their Airbnbs because they overpaid. And then when Airbnb died out, they ended up screwed. It's not that it was unwise. It's just that season has come and gone. And I think there's still room for Airbnb. Don't get me wrong. I think there's still room to make money in short-term rental. I just don't think it has the same craze it did. And I don't think you can pay the astronomical prices that people were paying anymore because the returns are just not there. But the truth is, it's always a good time to invest. It's just a matter of what and how. And I think that right now we're in a buy and hold market. And I think it's really important to understand that we are in a buy and hold market. And as long as we have the Democratic Party in office, it is going to be a buy and hold market. If we end up shifting to a Republican Party, I think that it's going to be more of a buy and sell type market, because I do think that we're going to have, more opportunity for people to buy and have home ownership again and stuff like that. So again, and I'm basing this 100% on policy, right? I look at the numbers, I look at the data, I look at the facts. I don't personally invest in stocks, but I do look at stocks from particularly companies that are related to this industry. So companies, when you look at Home Depot, publicly traded distributors for construction material and products, publicly traded real estate firms. When you look at their numbers and you look at their data, you could kind of tell where the market's going. And as their inventory pricing goes up, so like let's say, as an example, lumber, right? The higher a 2x4 costs, and this is a very blanket statement, so this isn't the law, right? This is just an example. But the higher lumber gets, the more of a renter's market it is, right? Because what's happening is that as lumber gets higher, that means inflation is coming up, which means Americans can't afford to buy. And the more that, let's say, lumber goes down, then what happens is it's more of a buy and sell, because more Americans are able to purchase homes, but it's also cheaper to do the renovations to be able to resell the property, right? So when you look at the data from that standpoint and you look at it from that perspective, like I said, I don't mess with stocks, but I look at stock market because I pay attention to where the dollars are going, right? And I may overthink it. I know a lot of investors who don't ever factor that in, and they just look at it and say, oh, it is what it is. I look at the data because it secures my investments, right? If I'm buying a rental and I'm in a buy and sell market, I'm an idiot. If I'm buying a flip and I'm in a rental market, I'm an idiot. And again, there's a lot of variables and there's a lot of different ways to acknowledge this and look at this and see this and factor all these things in. And I think that we've gotten so wrapped up in the emotional side of it. Listen, if you're an investor, facts don't care about your feelings, bro. You're in the wrong business. As an investor, forget your emotions. I'm not saying don't have a gut and use your gut instincts, but I'm saying don't use your emotion to decide whether it's wise to invest or not. That's so stupid. If you're an investor and you're using your emotions and, I like this house. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, right? So don't use that. Don't use that information, because like I said, that your gut can help you. Your emotions will never help you in real estate investment. Look at the data, look at the facts. That's how real estate investors make money, is they look at the data, they look at the facts. And I think that's really important. I think it's very unsaid, because so many people are saying, become rich investing in property, and let me teach you how to wholesale, and let me teach you how to this, and there's 4 categories of real estate investing, right? And that's down to its core. There's buy and sell, buy and hold, build and sell, build and hold. That's it. Those are the 4 categories of real estate investing. Wholesaling, that's a fad. Short-term rentals, STRs, Airbnbs, all that, that's a fad. All of these are things that are going to come and go. That I don't care who you are, that is something that is not sustainable. Long-term, it's not. What is proven to be sustainable is buy and hold, buy and sell, build and hold, build and sell. Those are the 4 sustainable real estate investments that you can do. If you're thinking about doing something outside of that, again, I'm not saying that I'm not saying there aren't people out there that don't offer investment opportunities. And there are many, those 4 categories break down. They have, that's the trunk. There's many branches that stem off of that. But the truth is that those are the 4 categories. And so if you're looking at investment property, whether it's any of those 4 categories, you need to really evaluate where you are in terms of the market, because right now in the current state that we're in, we are in a buy and hold, build and hold market. Buy and sell, build and sell. Yes, I mean, you can build and sell. Don't get me wrong. I think there's room for that. I think we are in a market where build and sell is a thing, because we are lacking inventory in so many markets that we just don't have enough property, right? So I do think build and sell, but but the margins aren't there like as high as they are in other stuff. I wouldn't say buy and sell is a good thing right now, because I don't think you can buy at a good enough price to then resell. If just being honest, and I think that the only reason that build and sell is working so well right now is just because we don't have inventory, and I think that that's where you can make your money, just because there's definitely demand there. But I think it's risky. If I'm being out of the 4 strategies, I think the riskiest one is build and sell. I think that right now where the money's in the build and rent and buy and rent, or build and hold and buy and hold. I think those are the 2 right now that are kind of the strongest in terms of investment. So it's just a cycle, right? And it's just looking at the data that's out there. And like I said, I mean, you may not agree with my political views. You may not agree with even the information I put forth. But if I'm being honest, it doesn't matter if you agree with them or not, because I'm not making this up. I'm literally showing you what the data proves. If you look at the data of how many people are renting versus how many people are buying right now, if you look at the data of the cost to buy versus the cost to rent, if you look at the data of how much it costs for you to be able to have home ownership right now, the data is clear. I mean, it's as clear as it can be. People cannot afford to buy. So if you are buying to rent, you're going to do well. That's just where we are right now. And you don't have to like it. It's just a fact. If you're an investor and you're watching this, I know I've kind of trampled on, the person who might say, oh, well, that's not true or whatever. But the truth is, take advantage of this market. Take advantage of where we are, because it's not going to be around forever. It's not going to be around, all the time. And you may have to transition. But this is a beautiful time. Just kind of look at that from the data. And I do encourage that if you're an investor and you're looking at purchasing property, I do suggest that you start looking into the numbers. And you don't have to look into stocks like I do. You could just legitimately go to Home Depot and Lowe's and Ace Hardware and see the prices, and then make decisions based on what you're kind of seeing. Like, okay, every time lumber does this, the market does this. And you start to evaluate that, and you quickly start to learn that, man, there's a pattern here. And it's observing those patterns that's going to either make you or break you. So if you have any other questions, or you want to know anything else about investing, I'm more than happy to help. That's actually one of my fortes in real estate is, with investment property. Feel free to reach out to me. My handle's on the screen, but on top of that, you can email me. You can visit our website, which will be down below in the description, and send me a comment or whatever, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And whether you're in Chattanooga, whether you're in Tennessee or you're in, I don't care. You could be in Washington, right? The rules still apply the same. There's a little bit of tweaking depending on your market, but for the most part, the overall rules are still the same. And I'd be happy to help you, and I'd be happy to connect you with. I have agents that I know nationally that are in different states that handle different markets, and the truth is they're wise about investment properties, or they're people that I would trust that if I was buying a property in that state, or that city, that's who I'd use. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if this information has been good for you. Yeah, I look forward to doing the next one.